And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I do every day during the week. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. Happy Mother's Day after the Mother's Day for all those that had celebrated Mother's Day yesterday. I hope you had a wonderful time celebrating mom and all those who play the role as mom as well. There are some dads that are moms, at least play the roles, and there are also neighbors and aunties and all those people that are moms. Happy Mother's Day, day after. Okay, so I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you had a great weekend. It was a beautiful weekend here in the Northeast. If you were a part of New York, if you were here in New York, the weather was perfect. The weather was beautiful. We had clear skies. We did have a little gusty winds on Saturday, but not that many. A couple, but not many. And but we had a great time. I was able to photograph the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, their event. I'm going to share some of those photos with you guys as well, so you can see that. Today is also our Motivation Monday. So I have a motivation quote from the past that I'm bringing back to you guys. And so we'll be doing that today as well. And there's a lot in the news today. So it just so happens today's a big news day. I will definitely have to share some of the news with you. But before we go into the news, we will do our greetings. And there are some folks in the building. So how are you guys doing? And if you're here, make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes. I see over in our Instagram, folks, I see Janet over there in Instagram. She's probably going to move over to YouTube because she normally does anyway. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Hannah is in the building. She says, good morning, Ron, Touch Base Daily family. How are you doing? What's going on? And so good to see you, Hannah. Hannah, it looks like it's just you and I here today, this morning, the opening. There's two other people somewhere in the building, but they're not communicating. They have not even said hello, but they're here. There's 4 people in the building, but they are not communicating. Maybe. Anyway, so let's do some photography. When you guys want, can I share some? Can I share with you, Hannah, and whoever may see this in the future? Because obviously more people look at this later on in the day. I will show you some photos from my wonderful time this weekend. And man, what a time I had with the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce. That's the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, not Manhattan Chamber. Brooklyn Conservatory of Music. Hold on, let me go all the way back. Is it gonna? There we go. Let me share some of the photos with you. They got the batch this morning, the first batch, and I'm sure they're gonna post some of these guys. Let me just get this all queued in and share that with you. But oh, there's some people in the building. There they are. I see people now. What? I don't know what was going on. Everything looks like it was on delay. There's Elise. She says, good morning, everyone. And then we have the wonderful Chris R. Good morning, she says. And who else is in the building? Mr. Bryson is early. He said, what's up, Ron? What's up, Touch Base Daily family? What's up, everybody? Happy Money Making Monday. I'm back home, safe and sound, and back in the house. So good to see. Oh, Bryson, I'm glad you came to New York. I'm glad you got things done. But next time, don't you come to New York and don't hang out. Anyway, just saying. But I'm glad you are home safely. It's so good. I'm glad you had a good time in New York and you're back home. Elise says, good morning. And I see Bryson's here. Yes, Bryson's here. And who else is in the building? Jazzy is in the building. She says, good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, beautiful people. How are you? And Lisa's here. And yes, hello, Lisa. She says, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Who else? Hey, Derek T. Tuggle is in the building. West Coast is in the building. Mr. DT Tuggle is in the building. What's going on, Tuggles? And yeah, so we're all here. There's a lot in the news. So where should we begin? Now, we're just gonna fly through some of these headlines, but I want to bring the first one to your attention because this one, hey, Janet's in the building. She's in the building. She says, can't figure out how I got into IG. Greetings, all. Greetings, Janet. Yes, Janet. But have you heard this news? Have I'm all let, let me slow it down. Let me show you the photos first, and then we'll go into the news. Yeah, let's just talk about our weekends first. There we go. That's on the agenda. The weekend. I gotta slow it down. My brain is like on fire. It's like I have to tell myself, slow down, Ron. Slow down, pace yourself. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slow it down. Okay, so let's look at the photos from the weekend. Now, for those that don't know, the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music is one of my favorite clients. The reason why is because they give back so much to the community, and they share so much of their resources with so many people, elderly people, people that live in low economic neighborhoods and environments, school curricula. They strategically are truly about giving young people the opportunity to fall in love with music. And I am always honored to be able to support them as a photographer, but also as a person, just being there to support what they do. And I will tell you, so this weekend, what they did, they do this every year. It's called Open Stages. And what they do is they set up their stages all over different parts of Park Slope. Within about a slightly less than a mile radius. And you can go to each one, and each place has different types of music. Like there was a guitar area with all guitar music. Then there's rock and roll. Then there's pop music, and then there's folk music, and all kinds of styles. There's something for everyone. Rap music. They have so the whole idea is to get the neighborhood and community involved in the open stages and get involved in music, but also it helps them raise money for what they do. And the community donates, people donate. It also keeps them visible. And so I took these photos yesterday, and I'm just going to share a bunch of them with you guys. These are some of my first batch that I sent them, and just wanted to share it with you all. I like I said, and if you want to donate to music, and can I say something also? Because of the Orange Man, they lost part of their funding last week. Like a lot of organizations that are not for profits and that are sharing with communities. So the Orange Man got rid of some of that. So donations is so important for organizations like this to continue to do what they do. So again, you can look them up, the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, one of my favorite organizations here in Brooklyn. I've been following them even before I became a photographer for them. Let me just put that on the screen for you, and you'll be able to see that and look it up. Servancy. There we go. Of music. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to make that so that way you can see it on the screen. And hey, Kimmy, I see you in the building. I see you in the building. Thank you. And yeah, there we go. There we go. And it's on the screen there. Oh, I put it in the chat. I put it in the chat, but there it is. Brooklyn Conservatory. I wanted to put it on the other screen, but there you go. There you have it. Okay, so I'm going to show you some photos. I'm going to show you some photos from there. And if you can, make sure you can donate if you can to support young people, elderly, being exposed to music. So here we go. Check this out. This was so much fun. And here we go. Let me get that in here. Are we set? Here we go. Look at this. These are my shots. Again, just really showing the spans of I was assigned to Fifth Avenue, which was I was so happy because I only had to go up and down one block. Last year I had to go up like 4 or 5 blocks. This time was just one block. And the music was excellent. Excellent. And so this is what they do. The banners are there, the QR codes to support. This was called Guitar Field, which it was my responsibility to make sure that people show up. For those that have never been to Brooklyn, this is Park Slope, Brooklyn, one of our wonderful areas. And these are my shots. These are the shots that I created, shot for these folks. And I'm on the stage, behind the stage, getting the audience, getting the community. For those that also event photography this is what I do as an event photographer. And you want to get in all of the aspects of the event. So like the merch stand, the people connecting, dancing, the smiles, capturing all the emotion of the moment. And so these are the photos from the event. And like I said, everyone was so amazing and gracious. People were singing their songs. Folks lend out their stoops or their yards. Some people lend out their storefront. But look at all the people. Look at all of the people, right? So just to give you a glimpse of these wonderful. And again, if you are into music and you like to support music, like I know a lot of you in this community love music, support these organizations like this. But the Berlin Conservatory of Music is one of my favorites, and they really do give back a whole lot to our communities here in New York. And such representation. This group was from the Central America, I think Honduras, and their music was awesome. And so again, great music. And these are all my shots. So this is what I do. This is what pays the bills. And being there for these for my clients. And people are dancing and having a good time. So anyways, just wanted to share this with you guys because it was such a big weekend. This is their biggest production during the spring. And folks came out to really enjoy it. Okay, there you go. There you have it. And I'm just gonna go through this reel. This is my first batch. I got 3 more batches to send them. And but yeah, it's so worth it. So worth it. Okay, so there you have it. But make sure if you are interested in the Berlin Conservatory, if you're interested in donating to music, a great music organization that helps in schools, seniors, rehabilitation, also in programs at the actual conservatory, lessons. They do it all. So thank you, Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, for what you do here in New York City, because they do a lot, and mainly here in Brooklyn and Queens. Okay, so there you go. Just wanted to share that with you all. Who else is in the building? I see Kimmy has come into the building, and Kimmy sending some love for that as well. I see Janet's in the building. What's going on? Make sure you hit the likes if you're here. And let's see who's over in Laney Lane is over in Instagram. Come on over. Vadu is over there as well. Come on over to our YouTube channel, which is our Ron Lewis Photos. Come on over. Join us on YouTube. Okay, what else is in this? So what else? Hey, Jamel Shabazz is in the building. This man has been busy. He has been on the road. He's been at galleries, exhibitions, and man, he has been in motion. Welcome, Jamel Shabazz. So good to see you. Where do we begin? Let's talk about planes, y'all. Did y'all hear the latest? Did y'all hear the latest? Qatar's great $400 million gift. What do y'all? Did you guys hear this? Did you guys hear this news that this orange man wants to accept a $400 million gift by way of an airplane for his use? America already has an Air Force One for the presidency, for each president. They just upgraded, I do believe in the 90s, late 90s, the Air Force One that we have. What do you guys think about this? I am curious. Crazy. Is this crazy or what? Is this crazy? TB's in the building. Hey, TB, I see you. You say you're listening. Yes. What is going on? And then he's like, well, they're giving it to us, right? But what he's not telling you is that where they're trying to take money away from Social Security, trying to take it from Medicare, trying to take all this stuff away from people, it's going to take millions to upgrade this with all of the securities that's necessary to be Air Force One. This guy is the biggest grifter. And it also, like Jazzy says, the ethics. That's all I got. The ethics. Besides the security. The security. Like, are there microphones built in? Will they hear the top secrets of the presidency? What is so unethical? No person would ever think about this. This guy is the worst of the worst. TB says, more trickery and deceit. That's right. Kimmy says, finds the loopholes. They live to find the loopholes. And then when he leaves the presidency, then it's not going to be for the other presidents. No, he's taking it with him. The grifting of America, the grifting of the world. Lisa says, seems like a security issue too. Yep, it is. That's what they're saying. On ABC this morning on Good Morning America, they were stating how it's security problems. Hey, Miss G.R. Houston, Jack is in the building. Yes, a security problem. Besides all the money it's going to take to upgrade it, taxpayer dollars, because he's not paying for it. And then he's going to take it with him. Elise says he is going to accept it, and the DOJ is creating a plan for it. It is crazy. They are going to turn it over to him when he leaves office. Exactly, Elise. The grifting continues. And if that's not enough with the headlines this morning, the market's up 1,000 points this morning. The market was up 1,000 points, at least earlier. I don't know where it is now. Let's check. Let's see where the market is right now. Yahoo! Let's check Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance. You know, that's where I go. Let's see what's in the news. Where's say Trump says he and Xing likely to talk tariffs by end of the week. There's a 90-day reprieve. Where's the market right now? The market is still up 931 points. 931 points. Yes. On news that may not even come to fruition. Yeah, this is where we are, y'all. This is where we are. And I know I'm trying. Like I said, I'll try to do less of the this information like on what he's doing, but I had to bring it up. I had to bring it up. I had to bring up. This is insane. So, but it's going to take a couple of months to recover from the crazy that he put into the system, because the cargo ships, the last big one was what? The 10th was last week. Well, was that this weekend? What's today's date? Yeah, it was this weekend. It was Saturday. Saturday was the last major shipment from China. So that means production is behind. What happens when there's less goods on the shelf? Prices go up. When prices go up, what does it cause? Inflation. The damage is done. The only winner are the billionaires or the people that knew what was going on behind the scenes. We still don't know. There's insider trading. For all you Wall Streeters out there, we know what that is. Inside trading. They said just in the weeks of all this craziness, Trump and all of his people have made billions of dollars. Billions. Yet the MAGA folks still love him. They still love him. They still love what he does. They're like, oh, he's brilliant. I commented on the Don Lemon show today. It's not that he's this smart. He's not that smart. It's the people around him that are smart and using him to manipulate. The insanity of it all. The insanity of it all. Oh, we're gonna get to that. We getting there, Elise. That's the next thing on the platter. That's the next thing on the platter. He is going to accept. Yep. We got here. Elise says, at this point, he is selling the top secrets to the highest bidders. I believe it. Jazzy says, huge security risk. What is they getting in return for this beautiful $400 million gift? What are they getting in return? No one just gives you a $400 million gift, right? Kenny says, going to U.S. Air Force, then passes to Trump Foundation. Grifting. Jazzy says, you better hit that note. Yahoo! Remember that? I love that sound. I used to love it. Every time that commercial came on, as you can tell, I hit the notes. I got those notes. Elise says, the market is up because they got China to reduce the tariffs. Well, it was also because he reduced the tariffs. They're at a 90-day standoff. A 90-day standoff. So 3 months. 3 months until they can figure it all out. Well, they should have did that in the beginning. Wouldn't that would have made sense? Instead of putting the whole world through all of this, wouldn't it just been good and smart to just go to the table and talk it out? If you're such a great negotiator, right? Right? The negotiator? You're supposed to be able to bring people to the table and talk. And as we all know, as it's been in the paper, in the news, he's been going to China and asking them for a meeting, for getting together. China's like, we don't need you. We don't need you. You, until you respect us, we're not coming to the table. That's what China kept saying for the last couple of weeks since this craziness began. China says we only do 15% of business with you. Yes, I'm sure it hurts them a little bit. But no, you got a crazy person. You got a crazy person in the White House. Dr. Tachi's in the building. She says, hello, hello, hello. Kelly A's in the building. She says, good morning, everyone. You guys are popping in, popping in. I see you. Make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes. Okay, Elise. She knew where I wanted to go. She know where I wanted to go. 49 South Africans are supposed to land in Dulles Airport today. As I put in my little banner, the Africans are coming. The Africans are coming. The Africans are coming to America. Isn't that something? And guys, I want you to put on your thinking caps. Can we put on our thinking caps right now? You know what our teachers used to say? Our teachers used to tell us, put on your thinking cap. You need to put on your thinking cap. Can I have a moment to give you a thinking cap moment? He paid for their flights here. He's paying for them for their refugee status. That means they're going to get all of the benefits that refugees get. The South African white families, some of them, I don't know if they're all of them, stole land under apartheid and now claiming refugee status because the South African government told these people, you stole your land, you took your land under apartheid, and now there is no more apartheid, and you have to give that land back. Now, they're just not taking people's land. They're not taking white folks' land just because they're white folks with land. No, no, no. Know the story. Know the full story. Now, this is something I could talk about because I lived there for 3 months. And I knew Trump is not even capable of understanding what's going on in South Africa. This is coming from his South Africa voice in his ear from Elon Musk. Now let's get our thinking caps on, because you need to understand what's going on in South Africa. In South Africa, under the when Nelson Mandela became the president, and his party, it's not all black Africans. It's not all black Africans. There are white people in his party. There were white people and black people that established what's called reconciliation policies. As a matter of fact, when you're in South Africa, there's a day called Reconciliation Day. And how Reconciliation Day works, any of my South African friends out there that may be listening, you can throw in your perspectives. or maybe the gaps that I may leave out. But Reconciliation Day was a time of the year, a day in the year, where judicial systems will set up their courtrooms and people had to apologize, or they could come in and apologize for reckonings of the things that they did under apartheid. So a Black family would say, oh my gosh, you took our land, you did this, you did that, or maybe someone was killed, maybe someone was injured, someone was maimed, something happened. And they knew their accuser. Then the accuser would go into the courtroom, or this place of what's called reconciliation, to ask for forgiveness. And vice versa. If there was some Black African Black African that did something wrong to someone that was white, this was the moment to go into what's called reconciliation, to ask forgiveness of the person you wronged. That is what is going on. Then they pushed it even further and said, okay, there was land stolen from Black Africans under apartheid. Black people were not allowed to own land under apartheid. Their land was stolen from them. So if a Black family could prove, they still have to prove it, find the paperwork, which is hard to do, find the information, trace records. They had to do their due diligence. Law term, due diligence. And Dr. Tachi lays this down. She said, true reconciliation would have been for them to pack their bags and return to England or the Netherlands, where they came from, and France. Because they came from the Netherlands, they came from England, they came from France, or as my French folks like to say, France. Can we get our thinking caps on today? We're going to get a little education about South Africa, right? So you have to understand what's going on. For people like, oh my gosh, they're taking land from white people and giving it to Black people. No. If that white family stole that land and the Black family could prove it, then that land goes back to its rightful owner. Now, a lot of white Africans or Afrikaans that speak the Afrikaan language, which is a K-A-A-N, F-A-R-I-C-K-A-A-N, they're upset. They're upset that justice is being done. They're complaining. And they've been complaining. This has been going on for years. This started during Mandela, right? And now they're complaining because they have someone that's sympathizing with them. Now, let's roll the tape to today, right? Because we're still in this conversation. I think it's so important that you understand what is going on and why these white people are coming to America. These are people that are leftovers from the apartheid. And if you cannot see the big picture and what's happening in America, the letting go of the January 6th folks, the criminals, the racist stuff that's going on from every day is racist stuff. The taking down of our people off buildings and on websites and getting rid of education. Anything Black is wrong. And we all know DEI is not DEI. They don't care about DEI. They don't care about diversity, equity. and inclusion. They don't care about that. They use DEI as the other word for the N word, the black people. They don't care about DEI. They don't care about it because, again, black people don't get most of the benefits of DEI. Even in the construct of the DEI, we are at the bottom of the poll, at the bottom of the list. White people benefit from DEI, but they have people misinformed. But let's go back to South Africa. So obviously, you all know about Elon's parents who moved from Canada to join with the apartheid movement in South Africa. They literally packed their bags up in Canada, packed their suitcases, packed everything up, and moved all the way to the bottom of the planet, to South Africa, to join in with apartheid. Elon Musk's family. And if you listen to his mother over the last couple of months and maybe this year, you can tell she's still part of that movement. And he's still part of that movement. That's why when I saw his salute, I knew what that salute meant. Because when you see some of the apartheid folks do it, they do it exactly the way that Elon did it when he did it on the stage in Madison Square Garden. It is and it comes from the Germans that moved to South Africa after World War II. This is Motivation Monday. I know I just want you to see what is happening. Now I'm cynical because that's who I am. Do you actually think that a lot of these people are just going to come here? These 49 South Africans, KAANs, are just going to come here and just be regular refugees? No. I guarantee you they will be a part of this racist administration that is trying to bring apartheid to America. They will have some role. It is my presumption that they will have some kind of role in this administration or to be an aid to this administration for this apartheid movement. And you also know just last week, Trump just did quietly. He did away with the rules. Remember those rules that said segregation with the white water fountains? White only this, white only that, white only this. That was banned under federal law or federal law. He got rid of those last week, y'all. They are truly trying to make this an apartheid nation. This is a bigger plan, y'all. This is a big plan, and you need to know what's going on. You need to put on your thinking caps. Apartheid in America. They're in this together. Christian nationalists are not Christians, for say. It's a movement of white supremacy. Look it up. Look it up. But they're landing today. Today, these folks are landing in America to be a part of our infrastructure. And all the white farmers, those that will become farmers, because we lost our farmland in Africa, but we want to come to America and get your farmland. But meanwhile, our farmers in America are suffering because of Trump's tariffs. And who do you think is going to get some of that land? white and black farmers. Who's going to get some of that land? Who's going to pay for those lands, those farmers' lands that are going into foreclosure because they are no longer selling their soy to China? They're losing money. Who's going to come up and pick up the pieces and get that land? Put on your thinking caps. Put on your thinking caps. What says you? I see you guys are chiming in. Let's go. Let's go. Let me go to the videotape, because I love when you guys are sharing your thoughts. Is this making sense, y'all? Is this little lesson plan today making sense? Yeah. I see where. Here you go. Our tax dollars. It's back to the airplane. Our tax dollars are paying for all of this. Just know we are not getting their best, says Elise. Right, Elise? As Jazzy says, it's ridiculous. Lisa says, he is the king of the scammer. Jazzy says, they are all a waste of... Dr. Tati says, they're all a waste of skin. Here's Elise. She says, exactly. Good morning, Dr. Tachi. Good morning. Exactly. Lisa says, he is the king of the scammy loopholer. He finds a way to cheat the system at every turn. Dr. Tachi, true reconciliation would have been for them to pack their bags and return to England and or the Netherlands. We said that, right? Lisa says, I'm so mad the market has corrected. It just gives his Looney Tune base ammunition. Elise says, Dr. Tachi, I totally agree. 7% of the population have 75% of the land. Dr. Tachi says, Elise, yes, if they don't remove themselves from our presence. Jazzy says, I would like to get out of this social experiment, these colonizers, the irony of them to realizing that they are taking people's land and telling them their way of life is wrong. Lisa says, who's he? You mean we pay for it? Dr. Taji says, the lowest common denominators. Next one. Dr. Tachi also says, it makes me angry because trying to reason with these people is not something that is going to happen. You can't reason with a cult. You cannot reason with a movement that's based on hate and white supremacy. You can't give them facts. They don't care. Elise says, good morning, Lisa. Exactly. We are paying for this. That's right. We're all paying for this. Taxpayer dollars. Dr. Tachi says, Jazzy, you cannot reason with single organisms. Elise says, all they care about is money, power, and control. Kimmy Kim says, I was telling my grown children about the whites only situation when I heard it. They got rid of it, y'all. Now, on the federal level, so you know it won't be far for the states to do it. So now there's no more. It's no longer against the law by federal law to do white only. Make that make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. Elise says, where are they going to live? Ooh, they're going to take people's farms. They're going to live. They're going to have full refugee status, wherever that may be. And it seems that they want to give them whatever they want. This is the first group. There are more on the way. There are more on their way. Jazzy says, they are not Christians at all. Period. Full stop. We need to stop acting like they are. If Jesus was alive today, they would try to persecute him, and he And we all know it. I know you meant full stop. Shannon says, he was born a racist. That's right. Remember, his father used to attend the KKK, allegedly at KKK meetings. The orange man. Lisa says, he fired the black librarian. Yes, he did. And she had nothing to do. And they say it was because of DEI. Because she was putting books in the library. She was responsible for the books, which was not her job. That was not her job. Lies. That's all they do is lie. Lisa says his father had a baby with his stepdaughter. Allegedly. I think she's talking about the orange man. So, guys, I just wanted to bring that up to you guys because you need to keep an eye on this ball. Because and I keep saying this, and Lee says it, and we say it in this community, we are going to need each other more than ever before. As this country moves towards apartheid, if we can't stop this, if we can't stop them, and it moves closer to an apartheid nation, because that's what's going on. If you are not seeing the writing on the wall, then you are blind. The writing is on the wall. I used to work at the stock exchange, and a gentleman used to always say, Ron, read the writing on the wall. He used to say to me all the time, look at what they're doing. The writing is on the wall. We cannot be foolish not to read the writing on the wall. When someone paints you a spade on the wall, it is a spade. When someone paints hatred on the wall, it's hatred. When people are taking from you as a society, the better things for us as a community, as citizens of America, and trashing them and getting rid of them, like the whole Doge. The Doge. Do you really think that was about saving money? No. They spent more money in doing Doge than they got in losing and then taking those agencies away. It was never about money. If it was, then you wouldn't be saying you want a big parade with tanks and troops on the streets of Washington, D.C. That's going to cost millions of dollars to do. How about if you really care about the veterans, what you could do is take those millions of dollars and give them to the veterans, the ones who served. Just saying. Sidebar. That's why I love you guys. You guys are on it. You guys are on it. Lisa Seeley says there are all EOs though. He can't really change this stuff. No one should even listen to him because he alone can't change the laws. But it takes a long time to fight him on it. Meanwhile, the law has been changed. Musk's father said, Musk's father married, had a child with his stepdaughter. Yeah. Okay. And Elise says, I saw a post that said 8,000 of them are trying to come over here. Yes, 8,000. This is the first shipment, if I may call it that. Meanwhile, we can't get shipments of goods, but we got shipments of racist or apartheid South Africans. Make that make sense. The DMV needs to not give near one of them a place to live, but they will. Elise says they don't even understand that the Library of Congress is a research institution and no one under the age of 16 can access the information. But they fired her because what? As everything else, because she was Black. If y'all are not seeing it, I am still blown away that there's still Black people that don't get it. There's still Black people that are not getting it. They're just hanging out on the corner. Hey, yo, this dude, they're not getting it. There's still Venezuelans that are not getting it. There are Puerto Ricans that are not getting it. That's not a country, that's a state. Rosemary says, agreed. Hello, Ron, and everyone, says Rosemary. Welcome, Rosemary. Welcome. If you're in the building, hit the likes. If you're in, hit the likes. Let the algorithms know we're here. Elise says, Doge was about getting people data. Exactly. This was the biggest heist in probably world history. Doge was able to get all of our data, social security numbers, all of our information, all of it. And now they can now manipulate, control it, and use it to how they want to use it. It was the biggest heist. Rosemary says, unbelievable and disgusting. Janet says, she was also an Obama appointee. That's the additional reason for firing Hayden. Yeah. Can we talk about the airlines now here in Newark? How yesterday or 2 days ago, he says, it's Biden's fault that the situation in Newark is happening. Pete Buttigieg, it's his fault. Not telling the people that he laid off 400 FAA people that were analysts, inspectors, people that were managing that system. Because we didn't have this when Peter Buttigieg and Biden were in office. We didn't have this kind of problem. The radar system going down 3 times in 1 week. A lot of my friends are afraid to fly. I said, are you going down by plane? My neighbor, she said, no, we driving. She said, I'm not getting on a plane. She said, no, Ron, I'm not getting on a plane. One of my friends went to visit my other friend. She did not take a plane. She usually rides business class. She rides in the great seats. She got on a train to go to Charlotte. She said, Ron, I'm not taking any chances. But the reason why the FAA is having problems and well, when you let go 400 people or more, now you got some issues. Those were seasoned people. Those were people that understood the system inside and out. Those are the people that know how to put the Band-Aids on problems. Yes, this infrastructure is old, but you need someone that knows how to work that infrastructure to make it work. I know. Ron is on a soapbox today. I am. I am. Jazzy says, so ridiculous. Janet says, you need to be talking about arrest of Newark mayor. Yes. The news just keeps going on and on and on with these maniacs. I'm going to put a pin on that one, Janet. I'm going to put a pin in that one. Kimmy Kim says, this is crazy. Lisa says, no, Elon dead. Okay, we got that one. And not allegedly. He did a whole interview and he was very proud about it. Thank you, Lisa, for that correction. Elise says, yes, Janet. And the threat to arrest congressional Democrats. Putting a pin in it. Got to put a pin in that one. But Janet says, FAA issues go back to Reagan. There's always been problems. However, you had the senior people that were able to deal with the systems. The whole system needs to be upgraded. It's been needing upgrading for the longest. However, they did put a bill. They did put a bill under Biden. Biden and the Democrats did go to the Congress under Republican leadership and said, we need money financing for the FAA. We need upgrades. And what did the Republicans do? And now you want to blame Biden, when the Republicans were the one that denied the funding. Come on, y'all. Come on. Know the facts. Know the facts. There we go. Thank you, Elise. The Republicans voted against the funding for improving the FAA in 2019 under Trump. But they did it again under Biden. No funding for the FAA. They said they needed upgrading. They've been needing upgrading for the last decade. But now they want to blame it on Biden. Okay, let me take my little banner off of Africa. Let me take off this little banner here. Yeah. This is where we are, y'all. Now, I know that we are not in the streets. I know most Black folks are not in the streets, but we still need to be about this information. We may not be in the streets. We may not be protesting and going crazy, doing the whole thing. That may not be us. But we still need to know all of this information. You need to know what's going on at all times. Right? Right? Okay, here's something here. I see you guys. Back to the mayor. So you guys are the headlines. You guys create the headlines. Here we go. Janet says, you need to talk about arrest of Newark mayor. The Newark mayor was arrested. And now we are seeing footage that he was not even on behind the fence. He wasn't even on the property. He was outside the property. And ICE arrested him and then threatened the Democratic leaders. Outrage. Or did you see the video of the young girl being punched and pushed down to the ground, her face pushed into the ground in Massachusetts? ICE has lost their minds. ICE has lost control. But for MAGA, we all know what? Pain is the point. Pain is the point. Elise says, yes, Janet. And the threat to arrest congressional Democrats. That's where we are. And if you don't think this is going to affect us all, you are mistakenly wrong in your judgment. This affects us all. Lisa says, Verizon should drop some ads to let Americans know. People really do not know what is actually happening. Our tribe is educated. Most Americans don't know what is happening. Most Americans are asleep. Most Americans don't know what's going on. My buddy and I have a running joke. Anytime he gets frustrated, I say, Why are you upset? Why are you angry? What's the American? What's the average American? What's their mindset? What is their set? Most Americans are ignorant, uneducated by choice. They will run after every little thing except for what matters. It floors me. Like I said, I am at the coffee shop. You know me, I'm in the streets. I'm roaming around the streets around New York City. I get into conversations a little low key. I'll have a conversation with someone in the cafe, low key. Try not to be in someone's face. And if we happen to have a conversation, I'll ask questions. What do you guys think? What do you think about this? Or they may bring it up. And I say, oh, yeah. But most Americans are totally ignorant of what's going on around them. They choose not to. Some are just, they're not even wired to know what's going on around them. It's like my friend used to say, they are woefully ignorant. Woefully. Janet says, U.S. transportation system all need to be upgraded, not just planes, all of them. Hello? Remember when we had problems with the trains and then they had to upgrade all those brake systems across the countries? Across the country? Yeah. Our systems are old, but the Republicans keep taking funding away for public transportation. And we need public transportation. Lisa says, and no one should fly into or out of Newark. It's really bad. The gentleman, one of the analysts on Saturday said, if last week, if there was a snowstorm or there was intense fog, which it was the week before, and those systems went down over Newark, from the Newark, and those planes were trying to land, they would have not been able to land, and there would have been some accidents. The radar system dropping out 3 times in a week in one of the busiest airspaces in the country. Not good. Janet says, write that. Lisa says, I just sent you a post on your IG about a Hispanic family saying they were tricked. Duh, we told y'all. We told them. We told them. We told them. Rosemary says, it's already happening. Lisa says, Janet, right, we need to allocate money towards the aviation infrastructure of our country. The person that's in charge now says they're going to be working on it. Says they're going to be working on it for the next 3 months. It's going to take 3 months to overhaul the aviation computer system. And we know what that means in federal language. That means longer. Kimmy says, went to luncheon over the weekend with friends, and we had a brief discussion about this administration. If I could be a fly on the wall, Kim, I would love to know what you guys were talking about. Lisa Seeley says, and an air traffic controller is not a job. You can do a 6-week training or on-the-job training. Y'all don't know this, or some of you know that I have an aviation background. My degree is in aerospace engineering and also administration. So I have an associate's in aviation engineering, I should say, aerospace engineering. My bachelor's degree is in aviation business studies. This is why I know this stuff. That's what my degree is in. Now, a lot has changed in aviation over the years, but a lot has not changed. That's the problem. The systems are still the same. And when I left high school, I was going to be, because, that was after Reagan had got rid of a lot of air traffic controllers. I was going to sign up for an air traffic controller. That was going to be my first job out of high school, to be an air traffic controller. However, what they said is that The ruffling you hear is my buddy back there. So if you hear the ruffling in the background, you could hear his paper here. But if you back in the day, first of all, you had to have high grades to become an air traffic controller. You just couldn't just walk off the street and be an aircraft, traffic controller. Also, air traffic controllers, they have the most stressful job in the nation. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world. It has the highest stress levels. So when they told us all of this information, I was like, maybe that's not for me. But air traffic controllers, it is the most intense job of all jobs in aviation, police force. I mean, it is highly intense. And it takes years to get that intuitiveness of being an air traffic controller. That's why they hold on to them. Also, there's a minimum age. I do believe the top in the age right now is 55. If you turn 55, you got to get out. They want you out, even though they're doing some extensions now because they don't have enough air traffic controllers, thanks to the orange man getting rid of a lot of them. So now they don't have enough. Just telling you what I know, because this is something I know. Yes. One of the highest, it is, if not, they say it is the number one highest stressful job in America. You can look it up. But go on Google. The Google machine will tell you. Look it up. Go to FAA. I study FAA regulations. That was part of my degree, is to know my FARs and to know my FAA regulations. FARs. Yes. I'm many things, y'all. I am many things. Lisa says, he needs to allocate money towards the aviation infrastructure of our country. Yes, I see that. And Kimmy says, went to luncheon, got that one. Okay, got that. Air traffic controllers is not a job you can do at a 6-week training and go. Yep, exactly. Jazzy says, I just don't understand what they think the outcome of not funding the Department of Transportation would be. Jazzy says, most people don't realize that when it comes to air traffic controllers, it takes 2 years for them to be trained. Thank you, Jazzy. And you can't just stop the training and then start up where they left off. Thank you, Jazzy. Verifying what I just said. Jazzy says a lot of the cuts that the GOP are making doesn't make sense for the good of the whole entire country. I just don't understand what they think the outcome would be if we stop funding everything. Rosemary says they invited themselves to get fooled for voting without truly looking at his background. Kimmy says all of us was on the same page, that it's crazy. One person confided to me that her sister's husband was outright supportive of Trump. Kimmy says, I would imagine there is a lot of OTs for them. Excessive. Do you know also for air traffic controllers, there's a limit of how many hours you can work? Because after a certain amount of hours, your brain is not capable of responding at the pace that's necessary of managing all those little blips on the screen, all those blips and dots on the screen. If you just go on Google and say, Google, show me a air traffic controller screen, average. It will blow your mind how many blips, how many little light bulbs that are lighting up on that screen that they're responsible for. They're responsible for something we call in aviation vectors. What are vectors? If you ever hear the term, vectors are like highways in the sky. Like we have Interstate 89. Well, they have vector 89s, vector 34, vector 5, vector 9. These are routes in the sky, just like highways on the road, like roads that we have. They're called vectors. All the aviation people in the world out there, I know, yeah, that's it. So if you ever heard that term, vectors, the highways in the sky. Just saying. Just saying. Daddy says, and to be clear, they already had shortages of air traffic controllers before the orange man got into office. So him going in and firing them was the dumbest thing. Exactly. Lisa says, I wish at least 1% of our algorithms were of opposite mindset. Everyone needs to listen to the other side. Lisa says, Elon is supposed to be his tech guru. Why can't he go in and fix the Newark system? I said the same thing, Lisa. Rosemary says, they likely feel they have perfected an AP, airport, or AI, the replacement. That's to be seen. Janice says, there's no respect for knowledge and the amount of time it takes to acquire. And this is irrespective of the professions, whether professional or craft. Hey, Kaz is in the building. She says, blessed and motivated Monday. Okay, it's time for me to do some Motivation Monday. I've kept you long enough. But guys, keep your eyes on these headlines. They're so important. There's a war that could be brewing in India and Pakistan. I heard there's a ceasefire over in India over Kashmir. They've gone to war 3 times over Kashmir. Lines that were drawn up by the British when the British left India. And then they separated and have Pakistan here, India here, Pakistan there on the west, East Pakistan, West Pakistan. I should say, sorry, the other way around, East and West. Drew up the lines, all wrong, according to religions. So you have the Hindus in one area, you have the Muslims in another area. Divided lines due to colonization. Man, colonization messed up this world. Didn't it? It's a mess. A mess. Going to change it up a little bit. I was going to do a Motivation Monday. I can do the first part of it, and you guys can just follow along. Here we go. This is really quick. It's just something beyond words. It's something we have already done, but I just wanted to share it again. And we'll do that really quick. And I'll put that on the screen for you. Okay, here we go. Today's message is beyond words. Motivation Monday this week, right? And one of my favorite quotes is, again, let's delve deeper into Destin Sparks' quote. Photography is the story I failed to put into words. Here we go. Oh, maybe that's too big. Let me get a little smaller than that. Oh, that's too. Now that's too. I wish I could just like shrink it to a particular size. Okay, that's good. That's good right there. Okay, we're good. The quote beautifully encapsulates the power of photography as a medium of expression. Here are a few thoughts to expand upon for your community, for our community. Visual storytelling. Photography allows us to capture moments and emotions that are often difficult to articulate. A single photograph can convey a complex narrative, evoke deep emotions, and transport viewers to a different time and place. It's a universal language that transcends words, too. Emotional connections. Photography is emotional connections. Sometimes words fall short in expressing the depth of our feelings. A photograph, however, can capture the essence of a moment, like you saw in the photos that I photographed for the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music. The joy, the sorrow, the love, and wonder, creating an emotional connection that resonates with viewers on a personal level. What else does photography do? Preserving memories. Photographs serve as a tangible memories of our experiences. They allow us to revisit and relive moments that are significant to us. In the way, photography becomes a powerful tool for preserving our personal histories and sharing them with others. One of the reasons why I love Jamel Shabazz so much and his work is because he, and I tell him this all the time, it takes me down memory lane. It sparks information in my brain that has not been accessed in years, decades. I'll see a photo and it takes me back to relive the moment, which is good for our brains. It preserves memories. Photography preserves memories. It is healthy to go back over those photo albums, your family photo albums, to take out those photos in your trunk and go through them and look at them. It sparks memories, like how we were doing the other day when we were talking about music. That was such a great conversation. We went down music memory lane, or the music that reminds us, that plays a soundtrack in our heads. Same thing with photos. It's a visual of what's in our heads, or maybe have been lost in our heads. Next one. Photography is for creative expression. For photographers, the camera is an extension of their vision and creativity. Through their eyes, they can tell stories that reflect their unique perspective and artistic style. This creative process is often more expressive and impactful than words alone. How many times have you gone to the gallery, saw a photo, saw artwork, and it transports you somewhere? Creative expression. Creative expression. Next, inspiring quotes. Sorry, inspiring quotes. Inspiring others. Got a quote in my head there. Inspiring others. By sharing your photographs, you inspire others to see the world through your eyes. Your images can spark curiosity, provoke thought, and encourage others to explore their own creativity and storytelling abilities. So important. And last but not least, in conclusion, photography is not just about capturing images. It's about telling stories that words cannot fully express. This week, how do you feel about incorporating these points into your work ahead? All you photographers out there, all you photographers in this community, all you photographers that are amateurs or you've been in the game for years and decades, how do you feel about incorporating this quote, these points into your expression this week as a photographer? That's all I have for you today, y'all. That's all I have. I see you guys are also still commenting. Janet says, there's no respect to knowledge and for knowledge and the amount of time it takes to acquire these professionals. We got that. Okay, got it. And Lisa says, all of those jazzy posts were not on my feed. So weird. If you wear glasses, you can't be one or the other. Okay. So guys, that's it. Tomorrow is Tip Tuesday. We'll have some photography tips. And we definitely went through some of the headlines. Again, keep your eyes on the since my friend is he's in the view of my camera. Step out the camera, sir. Step out the way from the camera. That's my buddy for God's 30 years. Whew. Long time friendships. Thank you, Ron. Jazzy says, always a great show. Thank you, Jazzy Jazz. But there's a lot that we need to keep our eyes on. There's a lot going on in the world. We have to keep our eyes on what's going on in the world. You can never be in a place where you are surprised by what's happening in the world. There's some things that are just going to be by surprise that we can't avoid. But we must know and be armed with information. The more information you know, the better decisions you can make. And that's how we roll. That's how we roll in this community. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you. Make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure also, let me put my little banner up there. Let me get that up there for you all, because if you want to get on the mailing list, make sure you join ronlewisphotos.com. Join the mailing list so that way I can reach out to you and not have to depend online in case online happens to go away or becomes regulated. Also, if you are looking for an event photographer, I am an event photographer here in New York, but I do travel. I do travel across the country. I do travel abroad. If you want me to photograph your event, I am there. Let me know. And make sure you reach out to me and slide into my DMs. Also, I want to thank the Patreon members who support what we do here. The words that I just shared with you guys, that came from our Patreon page. So all that information, our Motivation Mondays, all are on our Patreon page. All of our Tip Tuesdays are on our Patreon page. So if you want any of that information, check the Patreon page. Join our Patreon community and support what we do here. Also, if you want to support and you don't want to be on the Patreon, there's also on the YouTube channel, there's like that little on the bottom, there's a little dollar bill, little icon. If you want to send money that way to support what we do here, you can do that as well. Okay. And, but thank you, Patreon member, for supporting. And also I wanted to share also one of our biggest sponsors, the Rolling Clouds, which is a tobacco company, cigar company, and Black owned by 2 Black women here in Brooklyn and here in New York. And they are an amazing company. So supporting them as well, because they support us. And I think we got it all. We got it all in. Guys, I am now saying goodbye. Thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy your Monday. I see all the love that you guys are going there. I see all the appreciation. Thank you, Kaz. Kaz says, thanks. And appreciate and shares information. And you. Thank you, Kaz. Hannah says, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think I see all the thank yous. Yes, guys. And also get to know one another. A lot of you do. And again, we had a great game night last night, but I'm not going there. We had a great one last night. We had a great game night. So guys, take care, build community, build your own communities, and continue to build this one. Okay, guys, take care. Bye. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.